Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our lesson 8 for Information Assurance and Security 01. We will now be talking about social engineering and phishing. So this is actually the last domain. So if you notice, for the past 3 weeks, we've been talking about cyber attack domains. Okay. So this will be the last lecture for this particular domain, and we are now going to explore social engineering and phishing. These are actually two key attacks faced by organizations throughout the world. There are other attacks, but these two are notable because most cases reported are under this category. So, let's try to define muna kung bakit ba siya tinatawag na social engineering. Okay? It's actually called social engineering because the attackers are somewhat like work like engineers or manipulates human behavior. Okay? So just like engineer, they design structures or systems. A social engineer designs, on the other hand, scenarios to trick people into giving up whether it be confidential information, pwede ring granting access or making security mistakes. Okay? The social part naman comes from the fact that it targets people rather than the system. So instead of hacking computers directly, social engineers hack human emotions like trust, fear, urgency, curiosity, or greed. Okay, so to break it down, when we talk about social, it means exploiting human interaction and trust. Pag engineering naman, in the context of social engineering, it means crafting or manipulating situations to achieve a certain goal. Okay? Yan yung, kumbaga, explanation bakit kasi tinawag na social engineering. So, in social engineering, humans are considered to be the weakest link in the security chain. Okay? That's already proven by reported cases, researches, and then case scenarios. Okay? So, you can have the best security systems and tools installed in your organization and a state-of-the-art security posture. But if the people who are using those tools or if the people who work in your organization are not properly trained, then you will definitely have a security breach. In fact, accordingly, 80% of the successful data breaches and hacks start with successful phishing scams that target people. Ibig sabihin, yung root cause talaga in any security breach is really humans. Okay? So social engineering basically exploits human to get them to do some of the following. Okay, let's say for example, it could be to share their passwords, or someone could post as an IT representative and call you, also posing as a legitimate person to get you to share your password, or even simply finding a USB or a flash drive sitting there on the street, drop in the parking lot, and then you're tempted to plug it in your system. Okay, so usually this is a very popular attack vector. So what's considered to be most popular is that yung like for example, when people find you flash drive, okay, and then those flash drives has malware that are designed to autoplay as soon as you plug it into your corporate network. So they have bypassed all of the security and directly entered the core of your system. So most famously, users could be incentivized to click on malicious links and email as well, especially yung mga email attachments. Okay, there are times that you might be receiving messages claiming you've won a prize or offering a coupon or a promotion, di ba? So these attacks often become more prominent, most especially during major events such as, for example, Christmas. Diyan sila masyadong active. Okay? Social engineering also uses, hindi lang siya like one vector attack. They also use multiple vector attacks. So it could be simple as scam phone calls with someone posing as customer support, or a banking agent wanting you to divulge sensitive credentials to reactivate your account and so on. Okay? So a nice safety tip is always to hang up and call the official phone number. Okay, like for example, if you receive a call from someone who posed as a bank employee, okay, Like they would want you to provide with some information. Remember, banks do not ask for your information kasi they have that one already. Okay? Another social engineering na attack is yung physical visit. Okay? So hackers sometimes masquerade as legitimate people. For example, a courier boy or a delivery boy uh, giving services, like for example, nagpo-provide ng delivery mail services to an organization. They can obviously, for example, create fake badges or visiting cards and tags. Okay, so perhaps this can be prevented if you have really intact security, especially for identification pa lang. Okay, so perhaps the most popular attack among the given is of course yung sa electronic. Okay, so this means that it entails phishing or malicious websites. Phishing emails contain malicious links and try to trick users to clicking on them by using promises or prizes or imminent problems. Okay? If users don't take action, they are warned that something bad will happen. I don't know if you have noticed this one or you have experienced this one. There are some advertisements, for example, that will tell you na your cell phone or your computer has been infected by a virus and you need to click this ad, 'di ba? That's one example of phishing as well, okay? Or it could simply be a bait. Like for example, yung kanina na example bitaw na a flash drive or a USB drop on purpose in a parking lot or somewhere they know people are likely to pick uh, and plug it into their corporate network, okay? Again, this will bypass all of the security boundaries and protections that are in place. That's why usually when you found a flash drive, the best thing to do is not to really plug it in your computer. Ang suggestion ko talaga is that you go to a public cafe and then doon mo itry kung anong laman dyan. Okay? Para you'll be as safe as possible. Okay? So, social engineering basically exploits human psychology. Ano ibig sabihin ng exploit? When you say exploit, it means na you are doing something bad to you are doing something bad on leverage or that will gain, diba? That will affect the other party. Okay? So social engineering basically exploits human psychology. For example, is yung we have here a hacker that can pose a person of authority. So it could either be a manager, your CEO, or you could receive an email from your IT manager. Okay? They could also pose as a financial institution or organization. So for example, they may send an email appearing to come from your bank or hospital informing you of some important news. Okay? Ang ginagawa nila dito is that they often employ urgency and intimidation. For example, they may say that the doctor needs information very quickly or that the CEO needs it immediately for a presentation. Remember, ang ginagawa nila dito is that they make time as the time to be a valuable essence in their particular attack. Okay? They always try to pressure you to provide sensitive information very quickly. And of course, they can also leverage on social ties. For example, you may receive an email from a friend claiming to be trapped overseas and needing help, di ba? You could then be tricked into sharing your credit card information or something similar, di ba? So I think the very rampant na example dito is that in the Philippine setup, yung mga like for example, you receive bitaw text messages na your relative or your family or a family member of yours got into an accident and then they will ask you to send a loan or send a GCash because they need it to bring him or her to the hospital. Have you tried that one or have you received that kind of scam in your text messages? Thumbs up na tayo if isa din kayo sa mga nasendan niya no? Like you have an experience something like that. Okay? Di ba may ganyan talaga? So, yung major tip na binibigay ko dito is that, for example, if the text message or the email is coming really from your friend's number or your family member's number, ang ginagawa ko is that I really call them. I video call them because you cannot identify with just a plain conversation through text. If it's really a legitimate, like yung kinakausap mo ba talaga is yung family member mo or yung kaibigan mo. So better have them call them. Okay? Remember, social engineering is all about exploiting human psychology for malicious purposes. So they will really get into your nerves or get into your emotions and feelings. So you don't need to be do not decide right then and there. Okay? Don't panic. Okay? So now let's try to deal with phishing kasi nga ito yung one of the common social engineering attacks that is really rampant today. Okay. Now, phishing is actually a social engineering attack designed to infiltrate organization to obtain sensitive user information at the very least. Okay. It can even lead to the installation of malware and more sophisticated attacks such as ransomware. Okay? Be mindful that phishing is one of the most popular attack vectors. Ibig sabihin, most of the victims are really under this category. Okay? More than 80%, according to research, of the successful attacks occur due to phishing. Okay? So the user receives, for example, a fake email that appears to come from a legitimate institution, such as, for example, their bank or organization, and then it will ask the user to click on the links. Okay? Those links or attachments may lead to malicious websites that download malware on your system. They may also capture sensitive information such as your passwords, resulting in successful infiltration. So yun yung ginagawa sa phishing. Okay? Remember, if you try to notice bitaw, phishing will only really happen if the person they targeted will really give into the request. So that's why kanina they keep on saying na human is really the weakest link in cybersecurity is really human. Most particularly those who are not aware on what to do. Okay? So kindly look at the picture na I'm showing right now. Sige daw, be. For 50 points, I'd like you to identify kung ano yung suspicious for this one. This is actually a phishing email. Let's try to identify what makes this one suspicious. Sige daw, be. Who can identify? I will not proceed to the next topic if no one will answer. Sige daw. Sige daw, be. From 3B. Try nating i-analyze what makes this one a phishing email. Sige. Just raise your hand, guys, if you have an answer. Okay. Mark. Sige, Mark. Barse.
Based sa kwan, sir, we request a verification.
What makes that one phishing, man?
Pangayo siya ng verification, sir, para
Pag ulit
makuha
ka
niya.
ng Tagalog kasi nagtatagalog ako dito. Ba't kayo nagbibisaya, guys?
Sorry, sir. Kukunin niya nangingi siya ng request verification galing sa PayPal account ng isang person, sir.
Okay, meron kang point, but then it's not really the correct one yun talaga. Sige, malapit na. Sige, who would like to try again? Let's try to identify what makes this one a phishing email. Sige, 3B. Okay, si Peda. Earl.
Yung verify, sir, yung verify your account.
Okay, that's one. Bakit mo nasabing si verify account can be considered as a part of the indicators na yan is a phishing email? Bakit?
Kasi yung mga links, mga suspicious yan pag in terms of phishing po.
Okay. Yeah, that's one. Another one, sige. Si Peda is right. Ano pa? Meron pa atang tatlo. Sige daw, be. We have Sabo. Sige, Sabo. Ikaw daw.
About sa cancer, but suspicious is about lag cancer ning tawag aning marungan ko
Yeah, we can hear you.
to cancer kaning to resolve this please take cancer ning kanang yung cancer ning gabulol ning kaning ipag-login pa sir yung ipag-login ka sir to complete the verification process sir.
Yan din yung sinabi ni Earl. Okay. You have the same answer with Earl. Let's try to have another one daw. Sige. Can we have Cloyd? Sige daw, Cloyd. Labinina.
Kwan sir, yung email na nag-send sa kanya sir is
Very
support
good.
sa planter. Hindi
Very good.
galing sa PayPal talaga.
Very good. This one is the first one talaga. If you notice, Bitaw, if you will try to look at it, it says here support advanced planterren.net. Hindi siya galing sa PayPal talaga na official email domain nila. Okay? That's the first thing you need to notice. Ano pa? Sige daw, be. Meron pa tayong isa ata. Ano pa yung mga na-identify ninyo guys? Or sirit na ba? Meron pa ba kayong ibang na-identify dyan? Sorry, ayan pala. Sige daw. Meron pa ba? Sige, Baldesco. Sige, Baldesco na yung last. Sige, Baldesco, ano pa
Sir,
yung
since dili man na siya legit nga sinag-send, sir,
Are you speaking Tagalog? Ba't kaya nabibisaya?
hindi pa, ay pa nag-verify yung account, sir, i-click niya yung verify account, mag-login siya ng mga information niya dun sa, hindi legit na,
Okay.
sir, website.
The same answer with Earl as well. Sige. Sige, Lawrence, ikaw na yung last.
I think, sir, parang may naka-attach na PDF, sir.
Okay, may naka-attach na PDF tapos
Di ko lang sure, sir, kung nagsisend ba sila ng PDF.
okay,
Parang
very
di,
good. Yes, that's a good point as well. Like most of the time, if mag-review ng account information, they will not really provide you with a PDF. Okay, and it's not really sure na ito talaga it's just a plain PDF. Okay, sige, I will explain this image para everyone will have the idea kung ano yung ginagawa ng phishing email na ito. So for this particular example, let's try to have na you are already cybersecurity specialist. Okay. Let's remember that you should be trained to detect phishing emails very quickly, or at least be able to detect suspicious emails, just like what we are doing right now. You can investigate to determine whether it is a phishing or not. So for example, in this case, there is an email address that is suspicious, yung na-pinpoint kanina, because you have never subscribed to this company. Another thing, kindly look at the grammatical mistakes. For instance, kindly look at the area where they would say, yung may money bitaw, I think ito siya. Look at this one, guys. Yung naka-green, yung highlight ko, this one. Diba? If you will try to check on that one, it says here, it's followed by a full stop and then brackets that includes your balance. Diba? So they use your, another one is that they use, yung grammar nila is your account's information instead of your account information. Diba? So wala tayo, the plural form of information is information lang, hindi siya informations. And yung last part, can you look at this part here, bitaw, this one. Ang sinabi niya dito is, we request with an S. Diba? Of course, pag nanggaling yan sa legit na bank, there will really be no room for grammatical errors. They say we request with S instead of we request. Okay, so these are already red flags or telltale signs. Grammatical mistakes are often a telltale sign that an email could be phishing. Okay, there is also a link. Okay, with the link they mentioned earlier, actually, if you will try to be as preventive as possible, you don't have to actually click the link. Your browsers today, they provide you with the hover effect. Like when you hover your mouse over the link, you will see the real URL. Okay, the URL shown might be completely different from what the company claims to be. This is also another red flag. Okay, there might be also an attachment gaya nito. Okay, even if it looks like a Word file or a document, it may contain malicious macro codes. These are major red flags that should be at least make you think like this is really a suspicious phishing email. Okay? At again, you need to consider kung saan nanggaling yung email. You look at as well yung mga links provided by the email. You look as well the content of the email, particularly the grammar, and of course, for example, they would ask you for the balance. I don't think any financial institution will really provide you with that kind of information or ask you for that information kasi nga meron na silang copy niyan, di ba? Next, we have here yung phishing. This is another point as well to always check your URL when you visit a domain. Kindly look at yung naka-red, di ba? If you will try to analyze it, you might see a PayPal page that looks exactly like the real PayPal page. But if you look closely at the URL, it might be different. Like yung example na to, it says instead of paypal.com, it says xyzpaypal.com. So you have to be very careful and vigilant because these types of attacks are common. And of course, they can masquerade as a legitimate domain to obtain your sensitive information. So kindly remember that one. Okay? Now, let's see how we can prevent phishing attacks. So it's an integral part of the cybersecurity specialist to make appropriate policies that are to be enforced within the organization. So you should always have an IT security policy that makes users aware that phishing is the largest threat vector. This can be done through presentations or seminars. You should also inform users about the consequences of phishing. Phishing may lead to malware installation on your network. It may lead to ransomware, which is even more dangerous kasi meron ng money na involved dyan. It could even lead to data exfiltration. Diba? You should share sample phishing emails. For example, pag ikaw na yung IT security in charge ng company mo, you should share sample phishing emails along with the common indicators we have just discussed earlier. So this will make users or the members of the organization more aware and vigilant. Okay? You should also instruct users not to click on suspicious links or open suspicious attachments. So one way or the best way to enforce these measures is to have a clear reporting guidelines. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, users or members of the organization should really have a idea kung anong gagawin if they receive something like this one. Saan sila magre-report, paano siya i-report, kanino siya i-report, di ba? So, for example, users should be asked to report or forward any suspicious emails to the cybersecurity department. And then the security department can then vet those emails and inform the users whether it was actually phishing or not. Okay? So a nice way as well to enforce these policies is to have regular seminars or workshops. Yung ina-advise nga ni DICT, di ba, is that you invite third parties or government agencies that can provide seminars and even present scenarios, reports, and phishing exercises. For example, you can invite PNP Cybercrime. They will really provide you with insights, inputs, and real cases, and even demonstrate kung paano ginagawa yung phishing. Meron silang ganyang, I think social service nila yan sa PNP Cybercrime. They can even demonstrate bitaw or the generation of fake phishing emails. And you can learn how many users malicious links on that one. Diba? So you can also conduct training sessions to make users more aware. Okay? So again, as right now, you are already considered a cybersecurity specialist. That's why bitaw, if you notice, I always encourage people to share posts about cybersecurity. Kasi nga, this kind of idea will not be of essence kung tayo lang yung ang nakakaalam. It's best that we also share it to other people, especially those that are not exposed to this kind of agenda. Diba? So I think a simple sharing of a post about cybersecurity and some of its measures, safety measures, will not harm you. So pag may nakita kayong dapat i-share nyo na rin. Diba? Now, reporting can be even more streamlined or mapapadali. So instead of just emailing, you can even integrate the reporting mechanism into your email tools. For example, bitaw, if you are using Office 365, I think also in Gmail and then in Outlook services, you can use, for example, this is Office 365, you can use the report as phishing na service nila. Okay? This allows users to simply click it and immediately report the phishing email to Security Department of Microsoft. Okay? This actually makes the whole process easier and take note, yung maganda sa Office 365 bitaw na report phishing nila na services, there is a follow-up mechanism built in, which makes it easier for the user to track the status of the reported email. You will even receive a notification kung ano ba talaga yung ano yung evaluation nila with regards to the reported email. Okay? It also allows the IT security to respond to any reports na you would want to report as well. So the next one is actually an upgraded version of phishing. Okay? Yung tawag dito is whaling. So it's actually called whaling because the targets are the big fish, specifically yung mga high-profile individuals natin. Like for example, yung mga CEOs, CFOs, the company presidents, or other important executives. In phishing terminologies, we can differentiate them into three. Yung regular phishing, it targets anyone. Okay, it's just like casting a net bitaw in the ocean, and then hindi mo alam kung ano yung makukuha mo. Yung spear phishing naman, you have this one, it targets really a specific demographic within a certain population. Like for example, you would want to target call center agents. So you try to have that attack specified on them. And yung last one naman is itong whaling. Whaling targets the whales or the biggest, most valuable people in an organization. In simple breakdown, yung mga whale, those are important or high value person. Okay? In a school setup, maybe yung mga VPAA, yung mga VP admin, yung OIC president natin, yung mga program leads natin, di ba? So whale is equivalent to important or high value person, while whaling in cybersecurity means you are crafting a scam. Like for example, fake emails, fake invoices, fake requests that specifically tricks these high-ranking people often to steal money, data, or even credentials. Okay? So yan yung term ng whaling. Baka magulat kayo, yung nabanggit lang is phishing, and then here comes whaling. Whaling is an upgraded version of phishing. Okay? So again, whaling is a phishing variation in which the attackers masquerades as senior staff. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nasa top management level sila. So for instance, the HR manager may receive an email from CEO requesting urgent employee information. So the fundamental difference between whaling and phishing is that phishing is more generic in nature. Phishing emails are sent to a mass, or they are sent to a lot of people with the hope that even a small subset of that population will click on that link. While whaling emails are very specific and targeted. So they leverage this kind of specific information. So for example, it could involve an upcoming meeting or visit. Diba? That's why talaga in cybersecurity, if it involves important persons, they don't divulge the venue, the time, the place of the meeting, or the particular event, para it will not be a food to cybersecurity attackers. Okay? Remember that this information is known to the specific person being targeted. Attackers leverage this craft, which makes it a sophisticated attack. Okay? So for example, let's say yung nangyari sa Snapchat. Okay? So sa Snapchat's accounting department, they receive an email apparently from the CEO asking for employee payroll information, which turned out to be a whaling email. Hindi nila alam na nahack pala yung email ng CEO nila. I think it was later part na dahil. This happened in 2023. We also have yung sa toy store bitaw na Mattel. They suffered a whaling attack when a finance executive received an email from a fake CEO. Okay, so that involves money as well. So whaling is actually a growing threat and is far more dangerous. And people in positions of power have more privileges and access to sensitive information, which makes it very, very dangerous. Kasi nga, sila yung nasa top level management, tapos alam nila yung mga iba't ibang data which are sensitive and which can cause damage to the company, diba? That's why when you are on the executive or managerial level, you should really be as cautious as possible. Okay? That's why yung practice nga ng iba is that they really have a separate phone for business, they have a separate phone for personal, para talaga walang kumbaga just for prevention, di ba? So, meron bang mga consequences ng whaling at phishing? Meron. Okay? So, they can lead to malware infections. For example, they can infect your computer with Trojans, rootkits, spyware, or even worse, yung ransomware na na-install. This can either happen in two ways. Sometimes the attachment in the email itself contains malware, and sometimes the phishing link leads to a malicious domain. And then when you visit that domain, a drive-by download, like yung when you say drive-by download, is that you don't it doesn't ask for permission, and then it installs malware into your system. Sometimes they don't install the complete malware directly. They first install a small portion, which is what you call a dropper. Okay, the dropper then establishes a foothold, and then every time na meron siyang access doon sa internet, papunta doon sa domain name server niya, it opens a backdoor and initiates a remote connection to the malicious server. The malicious server then downloads larger and more sophisticated files without you knowing it. Okay, it can lead to a compromise, for example, in terms of the confidentiality of the data, and then it can also lead to a denial of service attack, making your systems and servers unavailable to both the employees and, of course, clients. Okay? And of course, yung pinakamalaking damage talaga when you will be a victim of phishing and whaling is really the reputation. Okay? Remember, when it's out in the open na you are a victim of this one, phishing or whaling, or if your company is a victim of this kind of attack, your reputation will be, of course, be questioned. And of course, future clients will have second thoughts whether they will avail of your services or they would like to be part of the company. Diba? Yan yung sinabi natin, I think that was the first one sa session natin, na more than the financial loss, ang malaki talagang problema if you will be a victim for this one is yung reputational damage. That's why we're trying to educate everyone. Okay? So that's for social engineering and phishing. I hope it's no longer new to you because you've been attending seminars and webinars. I'm just going into some technical terms lang, di ba? So, do you have any questions, guys? People, do you have any questions? Okay. Kung walang question, can you please give me a thumbs up? Okay. I think that's quite, Now,